Hey guys, welcome to creatingtracks.com. This is part 4 of our full song series. So far, we've made drums, bass, lead, and today we're going to pick keys for our fourth group. So let's go ahead into our fourth group over here, pick a pad, and I'll go into Browse, and make sure you're in your Sounds tab over here. We'll pick an instrument, and we'll go to Keys inside of our instruments, and you can see we have a bunch of different subcategories. But I'm going to go back to all types just so I can go through a bunch of these sounds and you can see what they sound like. So let's go to shift and pad mode and start loading up samples. Now, one thing that really helped me understand how these sounds work is I would pick any sound and then exit browse and just navigate through these effects on my sound tab just to see what effects they're using and how those sounds are shaped. So you can always use those effects, copy them to your own sounds, and keep messing around with it. So that's a really cool sound. I'm personally going for electric keys, so something like E piano. So let's see. So I really like this sound, but one thing that I don't like is the release or the delay that it has. So I'm going to go to Browse and navigate through all the modules that are on here. Even on your software, you can see it has 2 grain delays. So over here in the Maschine, 2 grain delays, and let's bring their mix down all the way to see what the original sound by itself sounds like. Now this is ideally the kind of sound I'm going for, and if you notice, it has a good amount of release on it, which I really don't like. So I'm going to go to pitch gate. So make sure you're in your sound tab in your sampler and navigate to pitch gate. And in your ADSR, you can see that your release is quite high. I'll bring it down. Increase that a little bit. All right, cool. So this is sounding okay so far. Now we can go back to our grain delays and see what they're doing. So you can increase the mix a little bit. And so what it's doing is it's delaying the sound, and then it's increasing the pitch of the delay by 12 steps, 12 half steps, and it's got some space on it, density, and modulation on it. So what we're going to do is you can play with this pitch and see what it does. So now inside of this grain delay effect, let me bring down the mix a little bit. And if you want to use this delay, you can go ahead, mess with your settings, see what pitch settings work best for you, and play with the space and all these other settings that come with it. But for now, I'm going to hold shift and delete this. So remove, and then increase the mix for the second grain delay. So there's a lot of overlapping happening over here. So I'm going to just shift and remove this as well. And let's go to the plus sign and add a Metaverb. So select this Metaverb and play with the mix a little bit. So let's reduce this mix a little bit more. And let's also reduce the size. And check it out. So one thing that's important when using keys is that they have a lot of mid information that is very hard to detect sometimes. So let's go and add an EQ. So I'm going to go ahead, grab an internal EQ and place that before my Metaverb. And then I'll bring down the mid gain, the low mid gain over here. You can hear how this crowds up the mix. So now that we've done this, we're also losing a bit of volume in this. So let's go to plus internal and add a saturator. And we'll increase the drive, increase the input. And because this has a very sharp attack, I'm going to go to sampler and increase the attack a little bit. So 16 milliseconds, just so it's not a hard attack like that. So 16 milliseconds. And now if you want, you can go ahead and add a compressor, but I still notice that there's a lot of low end in here. So we can add another EQ, so plus internal EQ, and we'll bring down the low mid again. Maybe change the frequency to about 300. And then we can increase the gain for the high shelf. All right, so now we have these 4 groups. We have the bass, then the lead, and then the keys. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this tutorial, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe to our channel for a lot more. And we will see you next time. Peace.